If I hadn't checked into room 309 that night, I probably wouldn't be alive to tell this story today, because the next morning, the police searched the entire motel, but they didn't find a single guest, only an old guest register. My name was written among people who had died more than 20 years earlier, and the most terrifying part, I remembered signing that register with my own hand. This happened in 2023. I was driving from Colorado to Nevada to attend my best friend Lucas's wedding. It was around 12:40 a.m. Heavy rain pounded against my windshield. Lightning flashed across the empty desert sky. I was completely alone on Highway 95. Then, without any warning, my GPS went black. A second later, my phone lost signal. No service. I wasn't worried. At least, not yet. I figured the signal would come back eventually. But then, my headlights flickered. Once, twice, and the engine died. Silence. I tried starting the car again. Nothing. Just tick, tick, tick. The rain became even heavier. I couldn't see more than 30 feet ahead. There were no cars, no lights, no houses, nothing. I grabbed my flashlight, locked the car, and started walking. About 15 minutes later, through the rain, I noticed an old neon sign glowing in the darkness. The letters flickered. Some of them were broken. It read, Raven Pines Motel. Except, half the sign had burned out. From a distance, it simply looked like Raven Motel. I had no other choice. So, I walked toward it. The parking lot was almost empty. Only one old pickup truck sat near the entrance. It looked abandoned. The windows were covered with dust. I stepped inside. The lobby smelled like old wood, mold, and cigarette smoke. A dusty radio sat in the corner. It played nothing but static. KSSSSHH. KSSSSHH. Suddenly, a woman's voice came from behind me. Late check-in. I turned around. Standing behind the front desk was an elderly woman. Gray hair, pale skin, an unnaturally wide smile. I could have sworn she wasn't there a second ago. Without asking my name, she pushed an old leather guest register toward me. I signed it. Ethan Brooks. She slowly slid an old brass key across the counter. Attached to it was a rusty metal tag. Room 309. I looked around. The motel seemed completely empty. So, I asked, am I the only guest tonight? The woman stared at me for several seconds, without blinking. Then she smiled wider. Only the ones who always come back. I laughed nervously, assuming she was trying to scare me. She didn't laugh back, not even a little. I picked up the key and headed upstairs. Every hallway light flickered. Every floorboard creaked beneath my feet. But something felt wrong. The motel was too quiet. No televisions, no conversations, no footsteps, only mine. Step, step, step. Room 309 was the last door at the end of the hallway. I unlocked it. The room looked surprisingly clean. The bed was perfectly made. A bottle of water sat on the nightstand, and beside it, an old black and white photograph. For people stood outside this exact room. On the bottom, someone had written, 1989. I looked closer. Then my heart stopped. One of the men looked exactly like me. Same face, same hair, even the same leather jacket. I whispered to myself, no, that's impossible. Just then, I heard water dripping from inside the bathroom. Drip, drip, drip. I slowly pushed the bathroom door open. Everything was dry. The faucet was tightly shut. Then, the bathroom mirror slowly fogged over, and invisible fingers began writing across the glass. Don't open the door at 3:09 a.m. I froze. I slowly stepped away from the mirror. When I looked back, the message was gone. The glass was perfectly clean. I stood there for several seconds, trying to convince myself that I was simply exhausted. I splashed cold water on my face, turned off the bathroom light, and lay down on the bed. Outside, the rain kept falling. Lightning flashed through the curtains. Eventually, I drifted to sleep. 3:09 a.m. My eyes snapped open. Someone had knocked on the door. Knock. Silence. Then, knock. Knock. A cold chill ran through my body. I remembered the warning on the mirror. Don't open the door at 3:09 a.m. I stayed completely still. Then, something slowly scraped across the door. Scratch. Like long fingernails dragging through old wood. The sound continued for nearly 20 seconds. Then, it stopped. A little girl's voice whispered from the hallway. "Mommy, he's inside." Another voice answered. "Wait, he'll open it." I couldn't breathe. Then, someone knocked again. This time, the voice sounded exactly like mine. "Ethan, open the door. I know you're in there." My heart nearly stopped. No one should have known my name. The knocking became louder. Bang. The entire room shook. Another hit. Bang. Pictures fell from the wall. The lights flickered wildly. Then, everything became silent. I slowly looked beneath the door. 2 black feet stood perfectly still. Whoever, or whatever, was outside, wasn't leaving. 1 minute passed. Then 2. 5 minutes. It never moved. Suddenly, the television turned on by itself. Static filled the screen. Then, a face slowly appeared. The old receptionist. But now, her eyes were completely black. She smiled, then whispered, "He finally found you." The TV instantly went black. The room temperature dropped. My breath became visible. I turned around. Standing in the darkest corner of the room was a tall shadow. Its head nearly touched the ceiling. Its arms hung almost to the floor. It had no face, only darkness. It slowly tilted its head toward me. Then, it took 1 step forward. Another. Then another. I grabbed the room key, threw open the door, and ran. The hallway felt different. Longer. Impossible. I sprinted toward the staircase. Room 309. 310. 311. 312. Then, 309 again. I stopped, confused. I turned around and ran the opposite direction. 309. Again. No matter which way I ran, I always returned to room 309. Then, every motel room door began opening, one by one. Creak. Inside every room, there was only darkness. But within that darkness, hundreds of glowing eyes slowly opened. Then, dozens of voices whispered together. "Stay. Don't leave. Join us." I backed away in terror. Then, all the hallway lights went out. Complete darkness. For 3 long seconds, I couldn't see anything. Then lightning flashed through a nearby window. For just 1 second, I saw every hallway filled with silent figures, all staring directly at me. And then, the darkness returned. I couldn't think anymore. I just ran, as fast as I could. My footsteps echoed through the endless hallway. Then, I saw the staircase. I didn't stop. I jumped down 2 steps at a time. Finally, I reached the lobby. But something was wrong. The front desk was empty. The old receptionist was gone. The lobby lights flickered. The dusty radio suddenly came to life. A man's voice whispered through the static. "You're too late." Then, the guest register slowly opened by itself. Its pages began flipping, faster and faster, until they stopped on the very last page. I looked down. My blood froze. Written in faded black ink was my name, Ethan Brooks. Underneath it, instead of a checkout date, there was only one word: deceased. My hands started shaking. I backed away. Then, I heard footsteps behind me. Not one pair. Dozens. Slow, heavy, dragging footsteps. I turned around. The entire lobby was filled with people. Men, women, children, all wearing burned clothing. Their skin was blackened. Their faces were covered in deep burns. None of them blinked. None of them spoke. They simply stared at me. Then, they all smiled. At exactly the same time, standing behind them, was the tall, faceless figure. It slowly raised one long arm and pointed toward me. Every burned guest took 1 step forward. Then another. Then another. I ran toward the front entrance. The door wouldn't open. I pulled harder. Nothing. Behind me, the footsteps were getting closer. 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 Until I felt cold breath against the back of my neck. A whisper floated into my ear. "Room 309. Never lets anyone leave." I screamed and threw my entire body against the glass door. Crash. The glass exploded. I fell outside, landing hard on the wet pavement. Everything went black. When I opened my eyes, the sun was rising. I was lying beside Highway 95. A sheriff's patrol vehicle was parked nearby. The deputy helped me sit up. "You okay, son?" I looked around in panic. "The motel. Where's Raven Pines Motel?" The deputy stared at me, then slowly frowned. "What motel?" I pointed toward the desert. There. The deputy looked. There was nothing, only an empty field, covered with burned concrete. and the rusted remains of an old foundation. He took a deep breath, then quietly said, "That place burned down in 1998. Everyone inside died. No one survived." I couldn't speak. Then, I reached into my jacket pocket. My fingers touched cold metal. I slowly pulled it out. It was the same old brass key. Room 309. The deputy tried to take it from me. His hand passed straight through it, like it wasn't really there. Only I could hold it. A year has passed since that night. I've never stayed in another roadside motel. Never. But every year, on October 18th, at exactly 3:09 a.m., 3 slow knocks echo from my hotel room door. Knock. 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 Then, a familiar voice whispers, using my own voice. "Ethan, check out time." Open the door. I never do, because deep down, I know, room 309 is still waiting for me.